Hey friends, welcome back to our channel. I'm Angie and welcome to part 3 of thrifting a Ralph Lauren Christmas. So many of y'all asked for a part 3 and I enjoy creating this type of content, so I was happy to put this video together for you. If you missed part 1 and part 2 of thrifting a Ralph Lauren Christmas, I'll put the links in the description box below for you so you can check that out, catch up, and create this look in your home for Christmas on a budget. So we're going to change up this part 3 a little bit. In the past, I have gone to the thrift store and found items that I would purchase to create a Ralph Lauren Christmas, and then just showed you how I would use those items in our home. In part 3, I'm going to share some of my past thrifting trips and things that I hunt for and how I would use those in our home, or how I am currently using those items in our home. Some of y'all suggested that I share how I style these items in our homes. So this video is going to be a compilation of thrifted items and how I would use them in our home and how I do use them in our home. So we should get the best of both worlds with this video. It's going to be a fun one, so I hope you'll stay tuned. And without further ado, let's get started with the video. I like to check the basket section in the thrift store to find large woven baskets. You can use baskets for so much and they are great for extra storage. This one would look great on a fireplace with cozy throws or throw pillows. And then this one you could style on a fireplace with extra logs, or you could put it under a coffee table holding extra items that you want to keep handy but keep it concealed. And then I found this little small woven basket that would be great for a candle, or you could add greenery with red berries. Then this one I found at the thrift store and I kind of upcycled it and I use it in our home. Let me show you what I use it for. So I shared this woven basket on a reel recently, and I just styled it with dried hydrangeas and put it here on our piano. I did use some dark wax to darken it up to make it fit better in our home, and I just love how this looks, and I leave this out year round with the dried hydrangeas. And for Christmas you could tie a little velvet bow on it to get it ready for the season, or you could change out the dried hydrangeas for any kind of green stem and red berries just to make it look more seasonal. But I plan to leave it just like this and just use it year round. This basket was also a great find at the thrift store, and let me show you what I use it for. So this is the woven basket that I thrifted, and it's flat on the back, so it's perfect to hang on these hooks here in the hallway. And for the fall season I put some darker greenery in here and just hung it on the hooks, but I did add some faux pine cones as it got colder outside. And then for the Christmas season I'll add some red berries in here and maybe a pretty ribbon, and then I just hang it right here on these hooks. So I love how it looks here hanging on these brass hooks. It doesn't get in the way, and it just adds enough color and texture to this space. And then this wreath, I just hung it here for the fall season, but I'll be changing this out for Christmas and putting a green wreath here with some ribbon and hanging some other items on here. So stay tuned. I'll be decorating for Christmas after Thanksgiving, and that's going to be fun because I am all excited about decorating for Christmas this year. So that's how I've used this thrifted basket in this area, and again I use it year round. I just leave it on this hook and just change out the greens from season to season. The next section I'm going to cover are vintage books, and if you have followed our channel for any amount of time, you know how much I love our vintage books. And I will check these at garage sales, thrift stores, antique stores, just wherever I am, I look at their books to see what's available. If you look at any pictures of Ralph Lauren spaces, he has old books and his rooms look like old libraries. That's the look that I'm trying to achieve in our space with our built-ins. And so I'm looking for certain color books. And so when you're out, look for vintage books. You can use these throughout the year and they look great at Christmas time also. Let me share some of the ways that I use vintage books in our decor and change them out from season to season to help them to look great in our space for Christmas. I love vintage books and I pick them up whenever I'm out thrifting, and I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I pick out books by the color of their cover. I decorate with vintage books seasonally, and so colors matter to me when I'm picking out books, and also titles. If it has a weird or creepy title, but it has a beautiful color, I usually leave it behind. And so titles and color really matter to me. I like if the cover is a little bit worn, but also I like them when they're in pristine condition. So it's really just what speaks to me at the moment and how it will look in my home. But one of the things that I love to do with vintage books is to use them as risers. And I know that that's not a new idea. Everybody uses books as risers. One thing I like to do to my vintage books to keep them interesting is to add a pretty ribbon for the season, tie them around the books, and then for the fall season, I just stuck a pheasant feather in there to give it a little bit of texture and to give it that Ralph Lauren look. So always think of books, ribbon, feathers. It doesn't have to be pheasant feathers. It could be any kind of feather. I personally love pheasant feathers and I plan to use these in my Christmas decorating. So I won't have to change out a lot from fall to the Christmas season because I'll pretty much have the same look, just different ribbon and maybe different color books. I won't have this look on the mantle for Christmas, but I will probably add this somewhere else in the house with a different look. So that's another way that I like to use my thrifted decor, is to use it in different ways to freshen it up, use it in different rooms, give it a whole new look. And I feel like when you really love thrifted decor or any kind of piece of decor, whether it's new, old, vintage, whatever, you really get your money's worth out of it because you can use it in different rooms and just give it a new look. So that also helps you to be creative, think of it in a new way that you can use it. I have a fun idea for this crock that I'm excited to try out and see if it works and then share it with y'all. This is another way that I use our thrifted books. I add them here on our built-ins for that old library look, and I've just thrifted books as I find them to give me that look. But here I love to find old Bibles, and the more worn the better they are, and I just stack them here together with this old thrifted urn with some greenery and some berries. And for Christmas I will add red berries, some ribbon, and just kind of get that ready for the holiday. I would like to find a pretty black book. This is just the cookbook, but I put it here because it has the black spine and I think it looks pretty with the black Bibles. But I would like to find something a little bit more appropriate to style with the Bibles, just to make it look more like a collection. And then over here I have more vintage books. I've got big family Bibles here. That's a new collection for me that I've started. I love to find those. And then I added these old worn books just to bring in that kind of muted orange for the fall season. And then this book I had to tie in with the oranges for the fall season. But you can see I'm slowly transitioning to Christmas with my plaid lamp that I found recently at Marshall's. This is a rechargeable lamp and it's got the little charger back. I keep it back here so I can keep up with it, but you just charge it up, and it's got warm, cool, and then that's really kind of medium, but I like the warm glow of it on these built-ins, and I'll just leave that up year-round because it fits the style of my room so well. But I think it was a great find for these built-ins, and then I'll change out these books for Christmas and get probably either red or navy or maybe plaid, something that fits in with the Christmas season. But the Bibles will stay here, and then I may change out this picture for something more Christmas as I find it, or maybe I'll just add a wreath to that with a ribbon and just keep it simple. So that's just some ideas for thrifted books that I use on the built-ins. So I styled books also up here on this top shelf of our built-ins, and I just put them in different directions to give them a little bit more interest. And this is my collection of green books. Now obviously I need to find more green books because I've added some navy up there just to fill in the space. But as I find green books, I add them here. And then I added my thrifted dog, and he's got greenery and berries, and again I will just add a little red and a ribbon to that and just keep that like it is, just add a little bit of a Christmas touch. And then over here on the built-ins, I've done the same thing with my books, but these are red, and these are the colors that I have in this room: red, green, blue, cream. And so I just put these books together by color. I arrange them in interesting directions and just add a little more thrifted items. Everything on that shelf is thrifted except for the greenery that's in the duck and the ribbon that is around the duck's neck. So, and maybe one book. I think that one book is not thrifted, but everything else is thrifted. So you can create a beautiful home on a budget with thrifted items. Well friends, that about wraps up this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you do like this type of content, please leave us a thumbs up. You can leave us a comment. I love to read your suggestions and just what you enjoyed about the video. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I know that the holidays are right here upon us. I am so excited for the holiday season to share it with our family and friends. I hope that you are having a wonderful November, and I look forward to seeing all of y'all in the next video. Bye-bye.